All right, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, July 31st. It is the final day of July. Marcel, the summer's going by so fast. I'm, of course, your host is always Adam Martin. I'm joined by co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel, to recap UFC 277. Looking forward to talking about that with you, Marcel. Let me see those shades, man. Marcel got a new pair of sunglasses. See, Marcel, you look cool. I told Marcel it looks like a part of the Men in Black or something. Let's see. Check this
There
out.
it comes. There it
Look at this
comes.
guy.
You guys ready? You ready?
Look at this guy, man. Superstar. Look at that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. Good job, Marcel. We got some comments here. We got Wani. He says you're chopping eggs with a knife right now for breakfast. Maybe he saw you with the glasses.
I
What's up,
do.
Steve? How's it going? Glad to have you guys here as always. We'll be recapping UFC 277, like I mentioned. Lots to talk about there. So 2 podcasts today as always on Sunday. First UFC 277 recap, and then we're doing the preview of UFC Vegas 59. We'll also talk about Contender Series, a little PFL. And yeah. Okay, so let's get into it, Marcel.
Mhm.
So lots to talk about this card.
Yeah.
I was having an amazing night, Marcel, up in the last couple fights. I was like, man, I'm the best at this. I'm so good. And then, of course, back down to reality, right? Took some obviously long shots in the final 2 fights, Marcel. We'll talk about all those fights. I think overall we both did pretty well in our predictions, but I'm a little disappointed with the way it ended. I'll just say that for myself personally. You know, it was a good night up until that point, and then it was just like, making some risks, I think, you know, again, always learning every week, trying to learn how to get my predictions better. And it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good night. But the last couple of fights obviously left a sour taste in my mouth. Let's just start with the main event here. We got 8 local in the chat. How's it going, buddy? Start the main event. Marcel Julianna Pena gets pretty much stomped on by Amanda Nunes for 5 rounds. Unanimous decision victory for Amanda Nunes. I mean, it's pretty much dominant, man. Like, I had it scored 50-44, second round 10-8. I'm sorry, but, like, you can't score that at 10-9, guys. Like, if you scored it at 10-9, it's really lazy judging. And the one judge you did, that's just lazy, Marcel. Like, how do you not score that 10-8? To me, Marcel, I was like, is this a 10-7 round? Honestly, that's what I was thinking in my head, because she dropped her 3 times officially. That's close to his 10-7, in my opinion, just pure dominance. I think 10-8 is fine. And then, obviously, one of the judges gave her 10-8 in the 5th round, too, which I think is fine as well. Very bloody fight. Here's the thing, like, I think Julianna Pena showed she's extremely durable. Obviously, Marcel, she's very tough, but I also feel like after seeing this fight, you know, I didn't think the first fight was a fluke, but after seeing the way this one played out, I'm starting to feel like maybe some of those reasons that Amanda was talking about, the illness and with the injury and stuff, it really did play a factor. Because the thing is, you hear it so often with fighters, you never really know. But in this case, I do think like there was something to that. And obviously changing camps, went to her own camp, different coaches, that all everything helped her. It was somewhat competitive at times, but not really, Marcel. Like, there was that armbar chance, I think it was the 4th round. Man, that was really tight. I'm not
Can you
gonna lie.
imagine she gets that?
I thought Marcel was pretty tight. Honestly,
Yeah.
it was tight. But there was so much blood and sweat at that point that it's like you could slip out of that. Overall, I mean, it was I think it was a pretty good fight. I kind of thought it was going to win fight of the night, even though it was kind of a beating, Marcel. I'll talk about the fight of the night in a second here, but overall, I mean, like, it was an interesting fight. Amanda obviously proves she's the better fighter. She proves, again, she's the best women's fighter of all time. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. I just thought that it would be somewhat more competitive, Marcel, to be honest with you, because honestly, it was kind of a beating for 5 rounds. So just give me your thoughts on the main event, man.
Yeah, man. Obviously, it was a good fight for Amanda Nunes, right? I agree with you. I think 10-8 is good in the second round because of the many knockdowns. You know, I think you gotta reward a fighter for knocking down your opponent and being dominant. You know, in that round. You know, so I don't say, by the way, with a knockout you should get a 10-8, but there were multiple knockdowns and she dominated. So 10-8, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, this could have gone 2 ways, you know, in my opinion. It always can go 2 ways. But I felt like either Nunes will be the old Nunes as she wins, or she looks the same like last time and she gasses out again. But she absolutely didn't. I think she looked good.
Yep.
Yeah, overall a good win for her. That whole family thing with Nina and the kid kind of bores me out, to be honest. But that's a personal thing. But yeah, good win. Listen, man, if she lost to Pena, it would be very tough for her legacy, you know. And imagine Pena getting that armbar in the 4th round. I mean,
it was pretty close.
Yeah,
It was definitely tight. But again, a lot of blood and sweat, like I said.
Yeah.
Right?
So a good win for Nunes. I mean, she deserved it. She was a better fighter overall, much better fighter actually overall. And Pena super tough, as we always know, doesn't want to go away. Um, what can we say? It was a I won't say it was a competitive fight, but it was a good fight and it was a tough fight. You know, it was a tough fight for Pena, it was a good fight for Nunes, and deservedly has her title back now. So yeah.
Get some comments. Sweet Scientist had a really good night. Good job, bud. That's nice. He also said, I know Moreno won, so I lost the bet, obviously. Can we get a flash anyways? He wants to see your titties. You gotta pay for that, man. Come on, it's pay-per-view. Marcel's OnlyFans. You really should start an OnlyFans, Marcel.
I don't think so.
Fun card, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good card. Like, I always ask you at the end, but I mean, I'll just ask you now. What would you give this card? Like a 7, 8 out of 10? A 7.5, 8? What would you say for this card?
I would give it an 8 somewhere. Yeah.
It's a pretty good card. Yeah.
Most of the fights were very good, in my opinion. So, yeah.
I agree. What's up, Joe? How's it going, man? The card was good, I think, too. All right, so that's good for the main event, I think. Well, I just wanted to ask you, like, what would be next for Amanda? I guess it's Caitlin Vieira.
I hope it's Shevchenko 3, dude. That's what I hope, but it's probably Caitlin Vieira. But nobody wants to see that fight, except for Caitlin Vieira.
I mean, Caitlin's a pretty good fighter, obviously, but, like, I don't really see her winning the fight. Again, you know, they've both kind of proven us wrong at some times. Like, Caitlin won her last fight as an underdog, obviously. So she's pretty good, but just if you ask me right now, I would have to pick. If you ask me right now, I would obviously pick Amanda Nunes. As far as Julianna goes, what about dropping to 125? Can she do that? You think it's possible?
I think there are still enough options at 135, dude. I mean, you got maybe the winner of Arena Aldana against Aspen Ladd. You know, why not? I mean, she's 1-on-1 against the champ, right? So a third fight isn't out of the question.
That's true. You're right about that. I think if Amanda lost, she might have retired after this fight if she had lost. But she obviously looked good and won, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. I don't think. Maybe she got it seemed like she got the fire back. The other option would be if she could move to 145. I see Juan talking about Macy Chesson. Maybe, but I feel like she'll probably defend it at 135 again, Marcel. That would be my guess. Mm-hmm. It's hard to go up and down away like that. So that's my guess. She'll stick at 135.
We should get rid of that 145 division.
They should just retire it. I agree. What's the point? I mean, she's a double champ. We know that. They're like, oh, she's a double champ. I made history again. It's like, hey, guys, we know she's the 145 champ, but it's not really –
I mean –
there's no division there.
We put 105 in the UFC for women.
Yeah,
you know,
we talked about that. I agree. Yeah, no, atom weight for sure. Okay, let's get to the co-main event here. Brandon Moreno knocks out Kai France with a body kick. So, interesting fight, Marcel.
Interesting scorecards.
Yeah, I like that's the thing. Like, I don't feel like I had a horrible read of the fight as how it was playing out until the kick, because the judges actually had France like basically up because I think he would have won that round. Just say that kick didn't happen. I think he would have won the third round, right? It seemed like he was winning the third round. So he would have been up 3-0 on one of the judges' scorecards, 2-1 on the other, and then down 1-2 on the other one, I think. Because it was obviously a close round. I had it 1-1, Marcel, heading into that third round, by the way. I think that's fine. I had some people having 2-0 Moreno. I don't know about 2-0 France, though. But it was a competitive fight, Marcel, up to that point. But the kick was just brutal and nasty. It was just a disgusting kick. Like, you could hear it. It was nasty. And Moreno gets his belt, or he gets the interim belt, I should say. So he gets that belt back. And then you had a great moment with Figueiredo. I thought they were going to, like, scrap or, like, you know, talk some shit. But, man, they were very respectful of each other. And I thought it was great. I loved seeing that, Marcel. And I'm looking forward to the fourth fight. I think the fourth fight's going to be great. First time in UFC history we'll see a fourth fight between two guys. And Moreno's obviously earned it after this performance. He's actually won 4 straight bonuses. He's just been killing it lately. I got to be honest, though, Marcel, I don't think this was fight of the night. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't have given this fight of the night. I would have given Moreno performance bonus, though. But I just don't think Kara France should have got a bonus for getting knocked out with a body kick, personally. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, but.
For me, I would have went with performances for Pantoja and for Moreno, and I would have went with fight of the night for Dober against Alves.
That was, to me, the obviously fight of the night. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think it was that hard to guess.
Yeah. So
give me your thoughts on the fight.
Yeah, about the fight. I mean, I had a 2-0 up for Moreno. You know, I can see 1-1. I can see 2-0 for Kara France. You know,
that's crazy.
The third round was going to Kara France for sure if Moreno didn't land that kick.
Yep.
It was a beautiful kick, you know, but I have a different opinion about that Moreno against Figueiredo fight. I still feel like Joe Rogan said that. I thought that was highly unprofessional from Joe Rogan, by the way, but I feel the same way. I don't think Moreno or Figueiredo returns to flyweight, dude. I think he goes to bantamweight. I think that was all a game from him going into the octagon and being like this and like, yeah, we're going to do a fourth fight. I don't feel it, He talks so much shit by talking to not wanting to fight Moreno, because there was like a racist thing going on, which Moreno didn't even have part of, was his teammate, which said something or put a filter over his head on Instagram, So Moreno, great guy, man, for apologizing with something he had nothing to do with, in my opinion, to Figueiredo. I like C4 fight. I think it's okay. If Figueiredo somehow goes to bantamweight, I want to see Moreno fighting Pantoja, obviously. I think that's the fight to make if Figueiredo doesn't fight at flyweight again. And, let's be really honest, dude. Pantoja just got completely overlooked by the UFC, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, he's so underrated. He's just underrated by everyone, I think. But
he beat Moreno unofficially on tough. He beat him officially in the UFC. And he beat unofficially Cara France on tough. So how can you look past this guy? And Dana said at the press conference, like, Pantoja likely will be the backup for Moreno against Figueiredo. It's even still disrespectful, in my opinion. But I understand that the fourth fight has to be first. I understand.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that's the way to go as well. Maybe we get some comments here, guys. What's up, George? I hate that maybe using this takeaway from Julianna's title win. Yeah, it is what it is. Like, I expected that. She won that fight fair square, but you're right. People are kind of taking away from it. But anyways, at the end of the day, Manny got the belt back. She's the best fighter in the division. I don't think it's any question anymore, Had 2-0 Moreno. I think it was 1-1. Oddsmoker Steven, the same as me. He would have had it. Oh, he said, yeah, KKF 2-1 after that third round. But again, he got kicked in the stomach and it finished. Figgy, Rob Font. If he goes up, that'd be a good one. I don't know who this guy is, Matthias Robeski.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight on the Dana White Contender Series, I think, week 3. But that fight got taken off for no reason at all. I don't know why.
Maybe visa or something. Visa
yeah,
issue. Maybe USADA. I think they test on USADA, right? Don't they? Or they just do Nevada testing. Nevada does the testing.
Yeah, right? That's what I think.
So do a post-fight test then. Yeah, it'd be a post-fight. Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Sergei Pavlovich knocks out Derrick Lewis. We both had this one, but it was kind of an early stoppage, let's be honest, Marcel. It seemed a little early. At the same time, though, I don't know if the fight would have ended any differently. He face planted, right? Like, he got back up quick, but he did face plant. I don't think it was a terrible stoppage, but it did seem early because he jumped back up. I don't know. What do you think, man?
Listen, man, that's what I said on Twitter. I understand if you look at it from on the TV or on the crowd, you see Derrick Lewis going down, going up immediately. But he face planted, He face planted, and Mergliotta stepped in, and then that moment he came up, and he was like, "What happened? There's nothing there. I'm still here." You can't blame Mergliotta for it, And I said on my Twitter, many people got upset about it. Suck my nose, you know what I mean? Listen, I understand that you say it's an early stoppage. I have no problem with that. I kind of see that as well, But you cannot go around the argument. You cannot go around it that Derrick Lewis face planted first, and then came up. And even if you guys say he wasn't knocked out or whatever, or Flash knocked out, he went face plant forward. He made the referee think that he was out because this is the first time he did that. He did it against Taito Ivasa as well. He was really out there, I know. But he also went down like this with the face forward. So, what can you say against Mergliotta that he did it wrong, And highly unprofessional from DC and Joe Rogan to criticize like that. And even in the post-fight interview, what was Joe Rogan even doing to Pavlovich? Like, yeah, dude, I think it was an early stoppage. Dude, shut the fuck up and be professional, At least say it's controversial. Don't say what you think, because your thoughts aren't facts. My thoughts aren't facts. You know what I mean? It's just what we see, and we should be open to both sides of it. I see Derrick's sides like, it's early, I'm still here. But I also can see Mergliotta's side and probably Pavlovich's side as well of it. Like, he was down with his face on the canvas. Mergliotta stepped in. He woke up pretty much. It's just stupid. You know what I mean? It was a plausible stoppage. I don't think it's like I said, it's not an awful stoppage. I understand the controversy, but it's just a win for Pavlovich.
Yeah,
it's just like that.
Here's the other thing. I talked about this last week. Derrick Lewis obviously. Tons of knockouts. I think they said, was he second all time? I believe, right? Or first or second? First. I think he might be first all time in knockout losses now too. He's got 7 knockout losses in the UFC. I think Frank Mir might have more over him, but he's right there too, Marcel. He doesn't have a good chin. I'm sorry,
Adam,
but he doesn't. What?
I want to ask you something. This happens the other way around, with Pavlovich getting down like this and standing up. People are upset like now, or are they not?
They are, but the thing, it was in his, no, they're not. They're not. Sorry. It was
Yeah.
in his hometown, right? Like, I understand it. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
but even on social media, people are going crazy. Even Joe Rogan, they see going crazy, you know. And I swear to God, dude, if this is the other way around, nobody would bet an eye.
I just checked. Frank Mir's been knocked out 8 times in the UFC. Lewis 7 times, and then I'm gonna check over him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for over him. Okay, so over him, Mir been knocked out 8 times, and Lewis is right behind with 7 guys. Marcel, his chin is not that good. I'm just saying, like, he's a good hammer, but not a good nail, and he's been like that for his whole career. Honestly, don't get me wrong. I love Derrick Lewis, but Marcel, don't you think he's on the decline now? Like, his chin is not holding up anymore.
You can pretty much compare him with a cheat code Paul Craig, but then with stand-up, you know?
Kind of, yeah.
He got that one-punch knockout power where it can put you away 15 minutes, 25 minutes in the fight, doesn't matter. You saw it against Volkov, you know? But overall, if you look really critically on all of his fights and see how many fights he actually would have lost without that one part. The Abdurakhimov, he was behind, I think, 4 rounds when he knocked out Abdurakhimov. I think it was in New York, in Albany, I think it was back then in the day. He had so many fights that went like the Volkov fight, you know. And that's nothing against Lewis because he's a fun guy and he has some great knockouts, some highlight reel knockouts on his record, you know. But got to be honest, man, you know.
I agree, dude. I'm just looking at his record, and critically, like, a lot of his wins come from behind wins where he got, like you said, had that cheat code and won. Now, I'm only asking this because, like, I heard people saying this week, like, actually even on the UFC broadcast, they were like, or I think it was the Wayne or something. They were saying, like, oh, it's a future Hall of Famer. Like, is he? Is he a Hall of Famer, Marcel, in your opinion?
No.
He has the most knockout wins, so I mean that's something. But you might have the most knockout losses too when it's all said and done.
I mean, all respect to Lewis, but I don't see it. So the thing that bothers me, dude, on social media is when you give your opinion, and I always try to give a non-biased opinion. You know, I try to look from both sides, and then people are going like, "Bad take, Lewis wasn't out." And I was like, dude, you're probably a fanboy, or you have bet on Lewis or whatever. Why do people try to go in a discussion with you when they can't be, how do you say that, non-biased? You know what I mean? It's so stupid.
I tweeted something like, man, this is a massive win for Pavlovich. We got some new blood. And someone tweeted me back and said, like, you're just clout chasing, looking to get your tweet on the broadcast. I'm like, what? Like, because I'm giving my opinion? I don't care about that. I don't even care about that stuff, honestly, guys. Like, I'm just here to offer my opinion. If they put it on, that's cool. If not, I don't care at all. I'm still going to tweet the same stuff. I've been tweeting about this long before they put it on the broadcast, Marcel. I've been on Twitter for like 11 years now, Marcel. So it's only been, 2 years they've been doing this? 3 years maybe? Like, it's not. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I thought that was ridiculous, but, you know, it's someone's opinion.
But
so whatever.
People really think like that, man. There are probably people who are really would love to be on the broadcast. You know,
they can take my spot then. I don't even care.
Me and I as well.
Dude, it's a cool thing, but like this is not something that when I'm tweeting, it's not like I want this tweet to be in the broadcast at all. You know what I mean? So someone said that. I was like, really? I didn't even respond to the guy. I'm like, whatever, man. If that's how you think, that's fair. But I mean, whatever. That's his opinion, but it's just not true. You know what I mean?
Listen, dude, if I get paid $1,000 to see my tweet on TV, put me on the fucking broadcast every day. Yeah,
me and Marcel,
exactly.
I've been talking about fights for years, Marcel. We used to talk about fights like on Twitter. When I didn't even know you, we were just, you know. So, anyways, I just wanted to mention that because I thought that was crazy. Because, like, I honestly believe he's new blood in the division. Like, 4 straight wins, all by knockout in the first round. This is a good thing for the UFC, Marcel, that he won. You could do an immediate rematch because it was kind of an early stoppage. You could, but I feel like they're going to give him someone else. Maybe he'll fight, like, the loser of Gane and Tuvesa, maybe, or something. You could do that. It'd be fun, actually. Tuvesa versus Pavlovich would be a fun fight. I would say that. And the odds say that he's going to lose that fight, so it'd be interesting. Let's see what else we got here. Pay your fighters. That's the thing. Like, I am critical about fighter pay, like, often. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Like, I always give my honest opinion. You know, Marcel.
I said, what did I say in the Potieriano-Gumeriano fight? I was like, great win for Nigumeriano, too bad the UFC didn't put where the mouth got flying out on the replay immediately. I know already when I tweet that they're definitely not going to show that on the broadcast. I don't give a shit.
What happened to his coach Bob Perez? I don't know. He's coached by Joe Murphy, who's Lauren Murphy's husband.
He switched scams.
Lauren Murphy's husband is coaching. I mean, like that guy. He seems like a young guy too. By the way, like she's definitely older than her husband. Like she's got to be way older than him. Good for him. I mean, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, is that the right coach for him? I don't know. I mean, I know he's a black belt jiu-jitsu, but like, is that the right coach for Derrick Lewis, a black belt jiu-jitsu? I'm not sure, Marcel. I don't know if he's with the right camp, honestly. No. Like, obviously, he's not going to leave Houston or whatever, but I'm just saying, like,
I mean, let's see this next fight, right?
He needs to be with someone that's going to really refine his striking. He's not a takedown guy. He's not a jiu-jitsu guy. He'll never be. You know, you just need someone that's going to help him with his striking defense because honestly, Marcel's defense isn't very good. You know.
Yeah.
Knocked down 3 of his last 4 fights, Marcel. Just saying. If they book an rematch, put it on 279. They could, because that card does need another fight. The funny thing was, Dana White came out this week, guys, and he's like, that card's going to be stacked. We're going to stack this card. But, like, looking at that card right now, it's not very stacked, and there's already 14 fights on it. And the co-main event right now is probably Johnny Walker and Jan Kutalaba, probably. Right? I would guess.
Which card?
279, the Kamaev and Diaz.
Yeah, likely, yeah.
I think it's Walker and Kutalaba. I mean, that's what they used to do back in the day, Marcel. They would do the John Jones fights, remember?
Yeah.
They would do a stacked main event, and then they would do, like, something like Kay Mills versus Rory McDonald was the co-main event once. Remember when he fought Evans? It's a 1-fight card, you know.
They are so fucked. Remember when they did John Jones, Dan Henderson?
Yes, I know.
Jones took the fight, and the Ellenberger against Jay Haran was the co-main event.
Yes, and by the way, this is not true. I've seen people talk about this week. That is not the co-main event. Collier and Burnett. The UFC sent out a press release. That was second, I think, on the release, but it is not the co-main event. I think Aaron asked him this week, and he said, "No, that's not true." That's a decent fight, but that's a prelim. That better be a prelim, or maybe on the main card, but weak main card if it is.
I mean, Tyson Pedro against Harry Hunsucker is on
that's
the main
opening
card
up the next. Yeah, I know, but I don't think this is the co-main event. I don't think it is.
No, me neither.
I'd be shocked. That wouldn't make sense, guys. I'm just saying. I think they're giving Collier, by the way, with that fight, they're giving him a layup because he got fucked by the judges. They're like, all right, you're going to fight a guy that you should beat, and you're going to get your bonus.
With no Vaseline, dude. That was really bad.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Let's go to the next fight. Obviously, we talked about Pantoja submits Alex Perez, your boy. Another submission loss for Perez, Marcel. Almost all of his losses are by submission, just bad submission defense. But I mean, this was pretty nasty. Obviously, grabbing his back in a transition and then just choking him out with a neck crank. It wasn't even really like a choke; it was just a nasty neck crank. Talked about on Twitter, Pantoja is the most underrated guy in this division. You look at the wins he has. Obviously, Moreno, we mentioned, Alex Perez, Brandon Ravel, Manel Kopp, Matt Schnell. I mean, these are top 5, top 10 wins. This guy is legit. I would like to see him fight for the belt next. If Figueroa doesn't actually end up fighting for the belt, you have to do Moreno and Pantoja. If not, you give him that backup role. But, I mean, I think this guy could be the champ because I do think he has what it takes to beat Moreno again, you know, Marcel. So he's really good. I think we both know this, and I think you guys all know this too. He's an excellent fighter, and again, one of the most underrated guys in the UFC. And I think you agree with me on that one, Marcel?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the way he came out in this fight, you know, he came out guns blazing, went after Perez. I think Perez didn't expect that like that, you know. He took the back within a minute, I think, and he choked him out with 1 minute 31 seconds officially.
Yep.
I mean, a great performance, you know, and I think Alex Perez is a great fighter, so that's a big statement in my opinion, you know, to win like that. You can listen. He had the interim title fight after him, you know, 2 fights after him, and he thought he should be in that interim title fight, and I think he should have been as well, you know. And he made a statement. He said to the UFC, "Listen, guys, I'm here. I'm actually the number 1 contender." That's what he said. But he showed it as well to me, you know. So I'm kind of like, I felt like should have been Brandon Moreno, Alexander Pantoja, in my opinion. But hey, Cara France, I had no problem with him after beating Askarov that they gave it to him. It just sucks for him, you know, that's an interim title fight and that now the title fight comes. So he has to wait a little bit more. Maybe he has to even take another fight. I wouldn't do it if I was him. I think he'd get enough fights. Maybe, listen, man, if I was him, I wouldn't do it, but maybe fight Askarov for a second time, try to win that fight, you know, and then he has also a win over Askarov that he lost before, if he wins that fight, of course, but that's a big if, so I would wait if I was him for a title shot.
it's tough because he's only fought once in the last year, right? Like he probably
Mhm.
needs money, but at the same time, you're right. Like
At least he got the 50K.
and you get the 50K, yeah. Where after taxes, it's probably like 25K.
Yeah, true.
Actually, no, I think in Texas is less tax. To be fair, I think it is less tax in Texas. Although I don't know if it matters because he doesn't live there. I'm not sure how that works. But yeah, if he waits, it's fine. But you know what? Maybe you should just wait and see what happens with Figgy because again, he might move up in weight anyways. All right, and then obviously opening up the card. Good call here, Marcel. You called him Ankalaev by stoppage. I mean, we all picked Ankalaev to win. I thought decision, and it was looking like that until Smith broke his leg. Apparently, he broke his leg.
But not. It's I think I don't know who said it, but after being in the hospital, he didn't broke his leg apparently. So.
Well, he heard something got injured. Obviously, he was saying in his corner like my ankle, put some ice on it, right? Like you could tell he was limping back to his corner.
For sure.
Anthony Smith's extremely tough. I think we all know that. But honestly, Marcel, if he did have a broken foot or a broken ankle or whatever, like maybe his corner shouldn't have let him go out again. You know, like especially if he had a broken leg, which you're saying he didn't. But I'm just saying, like, if you actually had a broken leg, there's no way she would fight on that. Obviously, I don't really think this fight went any differently than we all thought, except that Ankalaev actually got the stoppage here. 9 straight wins. Really, I mean, if you beat Paul Craig, you'd be 10-0 right now. I mean, really, like they said, he has the second longest win streak in the division beside John Jones. He had 13 wins, I think. Guy's special. There's no doubt about it. Do you give him a title shot, though? I think you're going to say you would. I think you would say you want to see the Yuri fight. But honestly, Marcel, I want to see that Glover rematch. I really think Glover deserves it because he was 30 seconds away from winning, you know? And it was the best fight of the year. It was one of the best fights of all time. Like, I think you just run it back, especially with Glover being 42. There's no opportunity to do it otherwise. So you can't do that and say, like, oh, okay, you let him fight Jan and win again and then do it. I'd rather see Ankalaev fight Jan Blachowicz. They both won, you know, with their opponents getting injured, basically. They both look good, too. I mean, especially Ankalaev looked great. He was going to win this fight either way. But Jan, you know, Jan wants a title shot, too, and he obviously does not deserve it, even though I'm a big Jan Blachowicz fan, Marcel. That's what I would do, guys. I would do the rematch. You could do, I don't know when they would do it, like November, December, January, I'm not sure. And then the co-main event, I would do this fight, Ankalaev and Jan. That's what I would do, Marcel. So main event, Yuri Glover, too. Co-main event, Ankalaev, Jan. And then if someone does get injured, you slide up Ankalaev. What do you think? Like the plan?
Yeah, I definitely think we should do Prohaska against Glover too. You know, I think that's what already been said. So I think that should be done.
Yuri wants that, right? So
yeah, and also I think Glover deserves it. Plus, Glover doesn't get any younger. You know, so I like the fight a lot. I think it should happen. On the other hand, Ankalaev deserves it in my opinion as well. But we want to see Glover the Yuri first, the second time. But if I was Ankalaev, if I fight Blachowicz on the same card, I want to be the first. How do you say that? I want to be the backup fighter for the title fight. You know what I mean? I think the win from Ankalaev against Smith is much better than Blachowicz win over injured Rakic. You know, because Rakic injured himself pretty much. Ankalaev checked a kick from Smith where got the injury. You know what I mean? Right. I don't think the UFC will see it like that, but I see it like that. About the fight, I think it was a very tentative fight in the beginning. You know, both guys had very much respect for each other.
Yeah, I agree.
Then Smith started kicking, Ankalaev started kicking back. Went a little bit more feisty in the last minute of the last round, or the first round. I think Ankalaev still won the round. You know, but was a close round. Second round, Smith went for the ground game, obviously, because he couldn't stand anymore on his leg. And Ankalaev twisted around and he won. So it went for him, you know, can't say anything else. And he should have been 10-0 in the UFC, man. I mean, that fight against Paul Craig, he completely dominated Craig, remember? And Craig was like, you're going to go in the triangle. I need that 1 second with 1 second to go. It was crazy back then, I remember.
Crazy.
Yeah,
6 years ago now, eh? It's been a while.
Yeah,
I think it was, right? Yeah, no, sorry. 4 years ago, not 6.
But it really costed like Ankalaev like 1.5 year, 2 years of his UFC
you said
career.
This. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's had to rebuild himself, right, up the ladder.
Yeah, they didn't give him a ranked opponent until he beat Kutelaba twice. So it's
remember, he lost a year there too because that fight kept getting canceled. Remember, and we're like, oh, because that referee. By the way, the referee in that fight. Referee's hard. Kevin McDonald. He's the one teaching the young referees now. Like, he's the guy in that ref. And Sal Diamano is the guy teaching the judges. That's scary to me. Kevin McDonald, whatever. I mean, that was a bad stoppage, but, you know, he's still a pretty good ref. But Sal Diamano, Marcel, a guy who's not a good judge, teaching the young judges, that scares me. I got to be honest with you guys.
He probably teach some of these judges on this card.
There are some bad judging on this card. We'll talk about that in a second.
Hell, dude. Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about this fight, or you want to move on?
Yeah, we can move on. Yeah.
Okay, so the prelim main event, I should say. Good call here, Marcel. I was really 50-50 on this one. Moreno gets the job done. It was a really good fight. I think this was also potential fight of the night. Double flying knee or whatever it was in the third round that almost knocked out Moreno. Crazy, eh? Like, just insane. Because Semelsberger's eye was so fucked at that point. Like, I don't even know how he saw anything. And then the doctor let him go, Marcel. I was shocked the doctor let him go out.
What was the doctor doing? He's like this, like this, and he's like this. And Semelsberger's looking with his right eye. 2, yeah, he's okay. It's like, dude.
I don't know how they let that fight continue. Honestly, I think the fight should have been stopped. That's my honest opinion. Like, the guy was like this. Like, there's no way he could see out of that eye. But again, it's Texas, right? So you know that they have a little more leniency. I think Moreno did really well. He showed once again what a technical striker he is, Marcel. This is a good win for him, Marcel. Matthew Semelsberger is a very good young fighter, and I think this is a solid win. I still think Semelsberger has a good career ahead of him, but obviously, Marcel, he's got some holes in this game. But Moreno looked good up until that knockdown, really. Other than that one knockdown, I do hate that scorecard from Kent Basinger, a judge I've never really heard of. 30-27, come on, dude. There's no way. Like, the third round, obviously, Matthew Semelsberger won the third round. So it should be 29-28. But a great fight, Marcel. I think it could have been fight of the night as well.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 rounds, Moreno, very technical, very clean with the striking, move out of the way. I think he looked really good. Third round, listen, man, much respect to Semelsberger. He came forward when he knew he was 2 rounds behind, probably. And he tried to knock him out. Didn't work, but he tried it, and that's a big thing, in my opinion, if you do that. The thing I have with people will say, Semelsberger won the third round, shouldn't have been stopped. That's not the case, not the issue. He couldn't see out of his left eye, and the ref and the doctor should protect the fighter at that moment. Doesn't matter that he won the third round. It should have been stopped, in my opinion. But hey, I bow for Matthew Semelsberger. Take my hat off. What a warrior. 2 rounds behind, one eye, went for it. In my opinion, won the third round. I don't know what that. About the death of Kim Basinger saw, but yeah,
it was a good fight. Okay, next one here, Drew Dober knocks out Rafael Alves, 3rd round body punch. Go ahead, sorry.
Very good comment, the last one there, I think.
Oh, sorry guys, I didn't even look at the comments. I was just looking at the card. This one?
No, that one, the sweet scientist.
Oh, Moreno got great anywhere, good everywhere, such an early point. He is. He's a pest. He's good, man.
Yeah.
Ankalaev looked way more comfortable during this fight. Yeah, he did. He's definitely found his groove. Pedro Tubesa, Tafa, McBaber players maybe. I also wonder about Anthony Smith. Just quickly, I forgot to mention this. I wonder how many more fights he has left, because he obviously has a career as a broadcaster now. So this could be a bad injury, right? Who knows? He'll probably continue fighting because he's called Lionheart for a reason, Marcel. But I'm just saying, I don't know how many fights Smith has left. He has 50 fights in his career, right? So he might be at the end of the road too soon, just because again, if you can get paid to talk about the fight instead of actually doing it, maybe that's the way to go. Because again, devastating injury in this fight. Like the glove fight, got his teeth broken, his face busted. So we'll see. All right, let's get to the next fight. Like I mentioned, Drew Dober knocks out Rafael Alves. I thought this was fight of the night personally, Marcel.
For sure. My pick
this was the most entertaining fight. I think you agree, right? I had more fun watching this fight than any other fight in the card. The crowd seemed to love this fight as well. Rafael Alves, the turn, won the first round. Marcel looks like a live underdog. Obviously, Dober comes back in the second, then knocks him on the third. But that second round, after that, was it the eye poke, I think? Was it an eye poke? It was an eye poke, right? Remember? Thumb in the eye. Thumb in the eye, right?
By Alves, yeah. True.
And the doctor comes in, and he's like, no, I can see it. And gives the doctor a hug, and that's so funny. And then comes out, Marcel, and he starts doing the crazy Ali shuffle thing and everything. It was awesome. I think this was the best fight in the card. So I think that he kind of got robbed of a $50,000 bonus. And I like Kai Kara France, and obviously I'm not saying he makes a ton of money, but I'm assuming Alves is making 10 or 12 and 12, right? Because he's on
something like that
contract, right? Because he's 1 and 2 in the UFC. By the way, look at his opponents in the UFC. Damir Ismagulov, by the way, he dropped in the first round. Mark Diakiesu, who he submitted, and then Drew Dober. Come on, I mean that's we were saying, Marcel. He's like the what's that guy's name? Guram Kutataladze. These guys are getting just brutal opposition, Marcel. Just the hardest opponents you can get in your first 3 fights, and he's won one of them, and actually looked okay in the other 2. I think he's really, even though he lost, I still think this guy's a good fighter, Marcel, honestly. I think he's pretty good. But Drew Dober's awesome. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's really turned a page from the guy that came to the UFC, was getting submitted by everyone. Like, he's just had a good career. He's worked on everything. He has, I think, 7 or 8 knockouts now in the UFC. He's a beast. Gets a bonus here, well-deserved bonus. He's got 1, 2, 3. He's got 5 in his career now in the UFC, 5 bonuses. He's an awesome fighter. Great fight. Great punch to end the fight. Love body punches. Any quick thoughts?
Yeah, besides that, I think Dober is a good guy as well. You know, I really like his attitude, always very respectful to everybody. Great fight. I want to know what the third means for Rafael Alves, where that nickname stems from. You know,
I saw it somewhere. Let me Google it, because I saw it. I saw someone talk about this, and they said what it was. Let me check here.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Yeah, so I think it was a great fight. You know, in my opinion, fight of the night. I think Alves did great in the first round. I definitely think he won the first round, in my opinion. Dober came back in the second round, looked really good. We all know Dober has some good cardio. You know, third round, beautiful punch to the body, stopped him. Yeah, great. And the most deserved performance of the night bonus. I think I would have given both guys fight of the night. I think it was a fight of the night. I would have given Moreno a performance bonus and Pantoja a performance bonus if you only give 4. So, yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a while ago. I think you said it was like some sort of celebration he did or something. That's what they called him, the turn, like something he does after he fights. I think you had mentioned this. I think you were the one who mentioned it, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay, I can't remember.
I could be wrong. I don't know. This was a while ago. I think this when he made I think when he fought Ismagulov. Dober and Guram would be a good fight.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I don't hate the Patty fight either. I don't think they'll do it. I think Dober probably knocks Patty out. But I'm just saying, like, Dober's not a ranked guy. You know, and again, Patty's been fighting for 10 years, guys. I saw my boy Capoza talking about this yesterday. He's like, this guy's a pro. He's got 22 fights. Like, what are we, like, so scared about matching up with someone decent for? Like, and it's true. Like, I get it. The UFC wants to milk their cash cow, but look what they're doing with Sean O'Malley. They're giving him fucking Peter Yan. So eventually they can't give you layups for every fight, guys, you know?
That's so weird, dude, that they went from immediately to there was another fight. I can't say that's crazy as well, that I'm like, wow, they're going to do that.
Wait, they had another matchup, potentially?
Yeah, Sean? I can't say it's not my.
Was it someone ranked?
No, it's also a crazy bantamweight fight, in my opinion.
Was he a ranked opponent, though, the other guy?
No.
It was an unranked opponent they were going to match him with, and then they went to Peter Yan?
No, I'm talking about a completely other fight. So not about Sean O'Malley, Peter Yan. So.
Oh, okay. You're talking about another fight. That was kind of crazy, you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
That was it.
Okay. Get some comments here. Say it. I know. Say it, man. Spill the beans, dude.
I can't. It's not my.
If Marcel spills the beans, then they won't give him any more fights. That's the problem. So someone's gonna go clip this, put it on Reddit, and then we're all going to be in trouble. Go next fight here. Hamdi Abdelwahab defeats Dontel Mays. Wow, I mean, what an interesting fight this was. Like, it was actually a good fight, to be honest with you, Marcel. I mean, man, like, the guy's got a really good chain on him. Obviously, he's got power. Drops Dontel Mays, and then Dontel Mays comes back, and then Hamdi comes back again. Wow, I can't believe one of the judges scored the fight for Dontel Mays. Unbelievable. Clear 29-20 for Hamdi. I mean, it was a good fight, Marcel. The guy proved that he belongs in the UFC. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Like, I had a lot of questions about his resume. We'll talk about the other guy on this card who was kind of a fraud. We'll talk about him in a few minutes. But I thought this guy's record was kind of sketchy, Marcel. And we obviously watched the fights last week together, guys. And I was like, I can't pick this guy. But he clearly showed he belongs. He's pretty good. And he's only got, 6 fights now, I guess? 3, really, it's 4 MMA fights, Marcel, and 2 bare-knuckle fights. I like this guy, Marcel. He's tough, dude. And I think if he gets in better shape with a full camp, he's going to be a real problem for a lot of guys because of the Olympic caliber wrestling, obviously, and the knockout power. I was impressed by his performance, Marcel. I got to be honest with you. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think it's a good fight. It's a little bit reaching to me. I don't think it was a good fight, but I think it was.
Okay, I thought it was pretty good personally, but fair enough.
I think it was a good debut for Hamdi. You know, I think he did very well first round. He almost got him out, but he was patient. You know, he wasn't going to go crazy. Second round, Mace came back, looked really good, and I was like, what's going to happen third round? And Hamdi used his fight IQ, got him down, controlled him there. And then Mace landed 2 hard punches at the end of the round. And then people were like, yeah, you can give it to Mace. No, you can't.
What would that stand up from Kerry Hatley? Because we signed his
dude. Listen, I always talk shit about Joe Rogan because I think he's annoying sometimes, but I agree with him. You're a mixed martial artist.
Yeah.
You shouldn't get help by a stand-up. You should be able to get back on your feet if you get taken down. That's your problem.
Yep.
So that's a bad stand-up by Kerry Hallion. Did it twice, I think.
There's another fight with a stand-up, wasn't there? I can't remember what fight it was, but there was another.
Yeah,
Rafa Garcia, Drakkar Klose on the stand-up too.
Yeah.
Jacob Montalvo was the ref. Maybe because remember Mike Beltran with that fight with Gina Mazzani? Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, he heavily influenced the
fight. That was
in
Texas too, wasn't it? I think it was, right? Maybe they're told by the commission we need to stand the fighters up more often in Texas.
Yeah, crap.
Right?
Complete crap if that happens. It's possible, but that's crap. You know what I mean? You can't do that.
Fight with Mazzani. Remember that one? That was one of the worst. That was in Texas.
Definitely.
Maybe there's something to this. Maybe we've discovered something. Maybe the commission's telling, hey guys, if there's no action, stand them up.
Masani would have won. Masani would have won the fight. Masani would have won that fight.
I think so too. I mean, I'm not horribly against them if there's really nothing going on, but I think he was doing enough to not to warrant a stamp in this fight.
Now, you know what it is, dude? The thing is, if you're a kickboxer, for example, and you stand up against the guy, and the wrestler can't take you down, you're not gonna say okay, you're a kickboxer. Now we're gonna put you on the ground because he doesn't get you down. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the same we're going to stand you up because he doesn't get up. It doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
And listen, of course, you and me both like action-packed fights. We don't like stalling. We don't like how do you say that? Lay and pray.
Lay and pray.
Yeah. We don't like that shit. But the thing is, the fighter on the ground, on the bottom, has to make sure to get up from the fighter on top of him, and you shouldn't get any help from that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's how I see it. I think Hamdi did great, won the fight, great win for him. First ever UFC win for a fighter out of Egypt, which is a big thing, I think. Good for him, man. Short notice fight, pretty inexperienced in MMA. Good win, solid win.
I want to get this comment because, George, the first BKFC alum to win. I know the answer to this. It's not him. You know who it is?
Sherman.
Chase Sherman. That's the first one. He beat, I can fill in the waiver. Now he beat Jared Verdera. He's not from BKFC Hamdi. He's from Masvidal's bare knuckle MMA. So it's actually MMA. It's different. It's not bare knuckle boxing. I think they're changing rules, make the fights more exciting, but it affects the integrity of the sport. I mean, I don't think this is a universal rule change, but I do think there might be something to the commission in Texas saying, hey guys, if the fights are stalled, stand it up quicker or something. Because they were telling them to work on a lot of these fights where the guys were working. And we'll talk about the next one here. Drakkar Klose and Rafa Garcia. I mean, definitely Drakkar Klose won this fight, but there was I think a stand-up in this fight too where I'm like, wow, Garcia's working here. I don't know why they're standing it up. But yeah, Klose won this fight too, Marcel. I think the short notice played a factor for sure because Garcia got tired, man, which he usually doesn't. He's really good cardio, but this fight got tired. Good for Drakkar, Marcel. 2 straight wins for Drakkar Klose, Marcel. And the guy got completely fucked over by Jeremy Stevens, lost a whole year of his career because of that injury, Marcel, to his neck or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he's a good fighter, and it's nice to see him get back in the win column. What do you think?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is a fight he was supposed to win, in my opinion. Still, Rafa Garcia, a good fighter.
Yeah.
But he was supposed to fight number 15 in lightweight, Carlos Diego Ferreira. You know what I mean?
I was going to pick him to win that fight, by the way. I would have picked him in that fight because I think Ferreira's kind of on the decline personally.
Me too. And by the way, I'm talking shit because Ferreira's out of the ranking since Jaden Turner won. So,
he's not in anymore. That's true.
Yeah. But that was probably one of the better opponents he was going to fight, and that was actually the ticket for Klose to get close to the top 15. Close, close to get close to the 15. I mean, good win for him. This for me, this was an expected win. Although no disrespect to Garcia, I think he's a super tough guy. It's kind of like the first time I pick a Garcia fight, right? So yeah. What can we say? Klose did what he had to do, and I'm looking forward to what's next for him. And I think Garcia doesn't lose any stock here by taking this fight on short notice and give him a good fight.
I agree. All right, a couple more fights left here. We got Michael Morales knocks out Adam Fugit in the 3rd round. I told you Fugit's a good fighter, Marcel. He was looking really good in the beginning of this fight. He definitely won that first round for sure. 2nd round, Morales always started taking over. Then it was so competitive though. 3rd round obviously knocks him out. Guy took it on short notice against the guy who's supposed to lose to. I'm just saying, I still think that I had a good read on this guy. I think he'll win a fight or two in the UFC because the grappling's very good, Marcel. I was surprised he was able to get Morales down and control him like that, Marcel. I think a lot of us were. But eventually Morales gets the knockout. The guy's ceiling's obviously extremely high. He's 23 years old. Tons of knockout power. I mean, he's really good. I'm just saying, like, this was actually a good fight for him, I think, Marcel, because he got tested a little bit with the grappling, and I think that's a good thing. I hope he goes back to the drawing board, starts working on the grappling instead of just the striking. But because obviously striking is really good. But I think now, you see, Marcel, once you fight these well-rounded guys like the Fujate who can take you down and submit you, you got to be more well-rounded. So I think this guy's got all the talent in the world, but I just want to see a little bit more from that part of his game. But overall, I mean, obviously gets the job done in the second round here, right? The third round, excuse me. So great win for him on paper anyways. What do you think? 2 straight wins by knockout now in the UFC for him.
Very hot prospect coming out of Ecuador, very young still. I think the UFC will have trouble matching him up with some people. I think really going to have trouble with this guy because there is not much upside for many guys in the division to fight him. For guys who are lower ranked than him, there's upside, but for guys higher ranked, it's like a high risk, low reward fight. You know what I mean? So it's he's a good fighter, dude. I was impressed from him from the Contender series off, and he has 2 stoppage wins. So yeah,
you were really high on him after. I remember you were like raving about him. And I was honestly, Marcel, after that fight, I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. And then I was like, okay, I think Marcel's right. Bet on him against Giles, and then I'm like, wait, this guy really is really good. So I think we're both high on this guy, Marcel. Mm-hmm. Do you think Moreno wouldn't take a fight against him, right? Like, there's no upside, right?
Nah.
Because I'm just saying they're both in the same card. Maybe Semmelsberger, maybe I don't even know if they would do that. Chaos Williams, that would be a good fight.
That would be crazy. Yeah, I like it a lot. I was thinking about it. Yeah. Do it.
Chaos lost his last fight to Randy Brown. It's close, but he lost. Mm-hmm. He's not ranked. I think it would be a good fight. Just a suggestion. I mean, if Ponzinibbio was game to take this fight, I would fucking watch that fight too, Marcel. I'm not going to lie. That would be a good fight too. Ian Gary's Wonder Boy, the fight Marcel didn't want to speak about. I mean, is it? I don't know.
I don't know why I want to speak about it. No, I'm not talking about that one.
He's talking about another fight in lower weight class. Let's go to the next fight here. Jocelyn Edwards, Jiyoung Kim. So before the fight, I told Cole, I'm like, I really think this fight's going to a split decision because I was looking back at all like the decisions in Texas the last couple of years. Almost all the women's fights have gone to split. So I'm like, okay, this fight's going to be close. Honestly, I don't think it was a hard fight to score. I think it was won the first and third round, I believe, right? 29-28. Maybe even she won the second round, but the fact it went to a split is crazy, but I hit a ticket. I had a $60 free bet and won $200 on this one, Marcel, on the fight going to a split decision. I want to give my boy Art C on Twitter a shout out because I saw him tweet about the play the other day, and I was like, you know what? Maybe there's something to it. And again, I went and did the research, and I was like, okay, almost all these women's fights are going to split decision. Like, remember that last card we had your girl, what's her name, Natalia Silva? Her fight went to a split. It wasn't her fight. It was Glory DePaula and Maria Oliveira. That one went to a split. And there was a few other ones that did too. So I was like, you know what? I think that there's a chance this happens, Marcel. But I think that it was a bad scorecard by Judge Steve Armstrong. I don't really agree with that scorecard. I don't even know who that judge is, by the way. I think Edwards clearly won this fight, Marcel. Bigger girl. She missed weight, though. Remember that. So keep that in mind. But she clearly won the fight. I think Kim looked pretty bad in this fight, Marcel. And she's lost 4 straight fights. Who is her manager, Marcel? Jiyoung Kim? Do you know?
It's Danny.
Is he also Edwards' manager? Or no, he's Ramona Pasquale's manager. Okay,
yeah.
Both her last opponents.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that they took this fight at 135 knowing she was on a 3-fight losing skid? What do you think? Do you think they maybe got insurance they'll give her another fight? Because like she's lost 4 straight fights now, Marcel.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think, honestly, they saw the Ramona Pasquale fight, and I think that was a close fight, Yes. And maybe they were like, Kim can win this fight,
Yeah.
So... And I still think Kim could win that fight, but she had to do more there, I think Edwards did well.
Didn't do enough at all, eh? She just wasn't throwing. Yeah.
Second round she won, but Edwards kind of put the brakes on it in the second round, I think. And third round, Edwards won again. So for me, it's like, I mean, if you lost 3 straight and this is your 4th fight, you should do more in the third round,
I agree.
But on the other hand, she took the fight. 135 fight was supposed to be at 125 against Agapova. Opponent missed weight. So there are a lot of things that are not good, And inside those 4 fights, she won against Cachoeira, in my opinion. She got robbed in that fight, in my opinion. So, yeah, can we see maybe another one? I mean, we saw crazier things with people getting fights that we didn't expect anymore. And I wouldn't be against it if she gets another fight.
By the way, the Molly McCann fight was super close too. That was super close, and so the last 3 fights have been really close. That honestly, she arguably won at least one of them, I would say. So, Yeah, I think they might give her another one, Marcel. Are they going to, if they're going to like Korea at the end of the year? Do you know?
Yeah, no, I don't know actually. Yeah.
Okay. When is our boy John going to have his fight? Because I feel like he's been training for like 6 months now, probably. Do you know? John Coe from Twitter.
Oh, I don't know what he has his fight. I have no idea. Yeah,
He's been training for a while,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Like it feels like maybe he got injured or something because it feels like he's been training forever. Although he has to be prepared. Edwards looks at fights like Randy Brown. That's funny. Yeah, look, stay distance kicks and stuff. So yeah, McCabe and Royval. He's trying to guess the fight you're talking about. Kim's issues making 120. No, that's not what happened. Like her opponent fell off, Agapova. She had to take a fight, and they gave her this one against the fighter who, fortunately, missed weight. So it is what it is. 2 more fights, Marcel. Nikolai Negumereanu defeats Ihor Peteria, and this is the other guy who's a fraud, Marcel. I'm sorry, but this guy sucks. Like I hate to say it, guys. I'm not trying to be mean, but this guy shouldn't be in the UFC. The guy's got a padded record, Marcel. He looked awful in this fight. The only thing that redeeming about this guy is his chin, because the fact he didn't get knocked down from that barrage of strikes is insane. But I know Nikolai's not bad, guys. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh on Peteria, but I just don't think he's good. And if you looked at his record, we talked about Marcel. His record's padded. It is, Marcel. I don't know how many fights this guy wins in the UFC. I don't know. Like, I know you picked him to win. Are you still high on him, or are you a little like questioning him now?
I was never high on him, but I'm also not high on Nikolai Negumereanu. You know what I mean? So the thing is, like, I took a gamble. Was a 50-50 for me here. And yeah. Negumereanu is a better fighter. He showed it. He was better everywhere. Got a great finish, knocked out his mouth guard, landed some more knees to his face. I think it was the best performance from Nikolai Negumereanu I saw so far, and good win. I won't say that Peteria sucks. I think it's too early to say, after one fight. But, it wasn't a good performance at all, obviously. And, we'll see what's next, But Negumereanu, much props for what he did.
Maybe that was a little harsh on me to say. I kind of apologize now. I feel like that was a little harsh. I just don't think this guy's very good. I'm just being honest. Like, he gassed out after 5 minutes. He has a padded record. I feel like he's like that Askar Mazarov guy, Marcel. So I don't know. Like, I feel like they're kind of cut from the same cloth. So, by the way, I think they could have given Negumereanu a bonus too. This guy's got a couple finishes now and no bonuses. So, any thoughts, Marcel, about a bonus for him?
I think he deserves one. But the UFC, sometimes they don't do it, sometimes they do it. But I think he deserves one.
I'd rather they give one to him than Care France. I'm just being honest. Like, again, that was a competitive fight, but I don't know really how that went fight of the night. Dana White loved this fight. He's like, oh, that fight was killer. It was a badass fight. I'm like, was it? Like, it was a good fight. Don't get me wrong, high level. But yeah, I don't know, Marcel. I think there's some other fights. But yeah, guys, I don't know. I just don't think Peteria's that good. I'm just really questioning the record. Like, a lot of the guys are 0-0. Maybe I was a little bit harsh, though. I kind of feel bad now, to be honest with you. I know how hard these guys work to get to the UFC. I just sometimes wonder, like, the competition coming up. That's all I was trying to say there. I do feel bad, though. I'm not trying to be mean to these guys. I know how hard it is to make a living, man. They're only making $10,000, Marcel. You know what I mean? Like, so it is what it is. Dober Alves was clearly fight of the night. I mean, I'm shocked it wasn't the other way around. All right, last fight, Marcel.
Yeah,
I mean, there's not much to say. Ryan Costey basically just grapples Blood Diamond. The fight wasn't that good. There's no way Blood. Okay, I think I was harsh saying that guy sucks. Blood Diamond's not that good either. I'm just gonna say that. That's more nice. That's nice to me, right? Marcel, I don't think he should get another fight in the UFC. I don't think he's ready. Right. 3-2 now. There's no way that this guy should be in the UFC.
Let's be really honest. He's just in the UFC because he's his guy. That's why he's in the UFC. And listen, I always love it. I always call him Mike Matida, like his real name. And people get really upset that I don't call him Blood Diamond. Guys, I don't give a fuck. I mean, the first round, Kosi did what he had to do, tried to get him to the ground. He won the fight. Second round, Kosi, really low fight IQ in that round. Striking with him, got almost finished. And then Matida, or Blood Diamond, didn't went through with it. He could have finished him there, man, in the second round. Third round, Kosi, smart game plan, take him to the ground, keep him there, win 2 rounds, get your first UFC win. Kind of a typical striker versus grappler fight, when the grappler did more, won the first and third round. So that's pretty much it. And I don't think with a 3-2 record, you should get another UFC fight, man, to be honest. And I don't think he showed a lot of good shit, against Wells and against Orion Kosi here. No disrespect to Kosi, but I think Orion Kosi might be one of the lower level guys in the division, and Blood Diamond is as well. So yeah.
What's Tristan Gore's record? It's the same thing, 3-2. They both are.
Yeah.
Or is he 4-2? I guess they gave him an extra win.
Yeah, they gave him an extra win for that semifinal. Yeah.
Both these guys probably shouldn't be in the UFC. If he goes down to 170, they could do that fight though. Tristan Gore and Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond do Ombre. By the way, actually, we asked you this: who's Darian Weeks' manager? Is it Iridium?
Darian Weeks' manager is Jason House.
They're not doing him any favors with the matchmaking, Marcel. They've given him 3 really hard fights in his first 3 fights. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, he debuted it against Brian Barberina, right?
Yeah, and then he fought Gary.
Cedric. Yeah, I think honestly, they thought the Barberina fight they took because it was short notice was like 5-6 days, so they get him in the UFC. I think they expected him to get Gary a good fight, and I think he did pretty well, but he clearly lost. Yeah. At the Doumbé fight, it's how you look at it. I look at it of Doumbé as like a very dominant guy. I've been in the welterweight division at Glory Kickboxing, for years. I think they look at it like Doumbé is a kickboxer, and we have a complete MMA fighter. That's how they look probably at it, But you never know. You never know what's going to happen. There have been kickboxers coming from Glory to MMA who've done great, like Adesanya, like Pereira, to Dustin Jacoby, went from MMA to kickboxing to MMA again. But you have also Carl Roberson, who didn't really listen. He did okay, but not really amazing. You know what I mean? Yep. So there's always Giga is a guy who did well. Sometimes there are guys who do well, sometimes not. So we'll have to see what's happening, But Doumbé is a big name, dude. Not in MMA, but definitely in kickboxing.
And for Cost, he missed weight, Marcel. 172.5. Just
that's why he had to win. If he lost, he was
would
gone.
have been cut. Yeah, for sure. So he'll get another fight, but I mean, it's not. He's not super impressive. I gotta be honest.
I gotta give him credit, dude. Dude was super humble. I remember at the ceremonial weigh-ins, he went to Blood Diamond. He was like, "Dude, I'm sorry, I missed weight. Totally my bad." And you saw Blood Diamond was cool with it as well. So I mean, there it goes. But
they had that fight scheduled like 3 times. We talked about that, so I think they were just glad to fight. Anyways, overall, I mean, it was a good card, guys. There's no doubt about it. A few low points, but for the most part, very good card.
Yeah,
I think a solid 8 out of 10. Personally. All right, we got a couple minutes left here before we start the next podcast. Just really quickly, we're going to talk about Dana White's Contender Series from this week. There's not much to say because this card. Okay, can I use the word sucked? This card sucked. This stunk. Dana was pissed. He invited Lorenzo Fertitta. Lorenzo was sitting cage side. He must have fucking hated it, Marcel. It was on. You guys, I love Contender Series. Watch it every week. I've been watching it since 2017. I think when it debuted.
Yeah,
I know you do too. This was probably the worst episode I could think of. I can't think of a worst episode. It was absolutely terrible. I don't know if it was a one-off or just the talent is just not there anymore. I'm not sure, but this card sucked. It was just a waste of time. The only good thing was I taped it because I went out earlier, so I could skip through some of it. I did watch the fight, but I just skipped right to the end. I'm like, there's no way Dan's even more than one contract out here. Maybe 2, but yeah. Quickly, what do you want to say about it?
I was like, 4 fights. I'm in bed before 4 a.m. Beautiful. And it was still like 4:45 a.m. You know what I mean? It was like some of the fighters. Listen, man, I'm not always agreeing with Dana White, but some of the fighters were really okay with just edging out the decision. You know what I mean? Yep. And you had that Anton Turkali fighter, that Swedish guy, who was talking a lot of stuff. And dude, I was like, it was so bad. And then he's like, in the post fight, I thought it was 5 rounds. Listen, dude, you can't be trying to be funny, but it just was bad. You know what I mean? You won, good. Buzukia was one of the guys. I was like, at least that was decent. You know what I mean?
I think he'll get in the UFC on a short notice.
Somehow.
That's my guess. You think so too? Yeah, I think so
he
too.
also has a good camp. He has guys like Aljo with him, Marab Delvalis, so I think so too. He will probably get a short notice fight somehow.
He bet $5,000 show money on himself to win $2,200.
Nice.
So I love it. I fucking love that. He had the balls to go and put some money on himself and post a ticket. So legit balls. I think that was the only other guy would have taken. Obviously, Marcel Turkalj didn't get signed. That fight was terrible. And then the Costa guy. For a big favorite, I mean, the other guy, did pretty well as an underdog. Martinetti, I wouldn't have signed that guy either. So I think really, obviously, we mentioned Joe Pyfer, great finish. He's fighting. They already announced his fight. He's fighting Alan Amidovsky. I think he knocks him out. I think he finishes Amedovski's not good at all. Can I say he sucks? Can I finally say it like about someone?
Yeah.
Is that guy good at all, Marcel? Why is that guy in the roster? Tell me. Why is that guy in the roster? Didn't John Phillips knock it out in like 10 seconds? Why is he still in the roster? 20 seconds it was. Pfeiffer's good. Bazookia might get in the UFC. The other two guys, maybe they bring him to like LFA or something, but
the Daniel Gracie fight team will rise again, you know.
Yeah, Pfeiffer. You think he wins that fight? Eh? Like I'm just gonna say right now. He wins.
We don't have to do like mysteries about it.
I like Joe Pfeiffer though, man. He really like kind of made himself look good this week. I think with those interviews and stuff. Marcel talking about like the fight to Stoltzfus. Because remember, he got injured in that fight. It's not like he lost. I mean, it was a slam that injured him, to be fair. But you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like he got beaten down or, like, out-grappled or whatever. Anyway, I think that's it.
To answer George Gennaro's question, yes, Impa Kasanga
is
Maki Pitolo.
Yeah, they signed him really. They gave him that fight after, and he won that fight, right? Impa won that fight. By the way, Impa, we didn't talk about that fight XMA guys last week. I didn't watch
beautiful knockout, right?
He knocked out Jared Gooden. That's a huge win for him because Jared Gooden was on a roll outside the UFC.
Listen, much respect to Gooden, but I'm so happy for Kasanganay, dude. Dude is a talented guy.
Nice guy.
And I'm to blame for it as well. I thought he should have been signed after his first Contender Series fight. He got signed after a second one, and maybe the UFC tenure was a little bit too early for him. You know, he's still super young, and I hope we see him back someday. You know, I think he's a really talented guy.
No doubt. Let's see here. You already answered that. Personally, like him, there's not many. I don't think they should give a lot of contracts out, but I think they just Piper, obviously. And like I said, for me, I think I would have taken Bazookia just because of everything he's been through, Marcel. And he had a close fight with Melsick, obviously, but I don't blame him for passing. Again, he's going to be in the UFC, I think, unless Bellator maybe gives him a shot, which they may offer him a guaranteed contract. Yeah, he did look good there too. We're going to talk about the Contender in the next episode. Okay.
Let me say I'm high on Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to talk. Actually, I have some things to say about that guy. We'll talk about him in a second. Yeah, it's true, George. I mean, there were still some decisions. I mean, last year they broke all their rules. They gave a guy coming off a loss, Candelario contract. They gave the guy coming off the weight miss, what's his name? The British guy. Jake Hadley. They gave him a contract, and then he went in the UFC and lost to Nascimento, got kind of exposed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyways, I'm being a play Canadian. Can I say Andowski sucks? Yeah. I just feel bad because, like what I said earlier, just because, like, honestly, like I know how hard these guys work. They don't make a lot of money. It's a very hard life. Being a fighter is a hard life, man. Unless you're like a superstar like Connor, where you can just do whatever you want, Marcel.
It's a hard life.
It is, Marcel. It's a grind. They bust their asses off in the gym. You know what I mean? They're not getting paid for the actual training. They're just getting paid to show that night. You know, usually you don't make a lot of money at the beginning of your career. But again, I just feel like the UFC is the best premier organization for MMA. It should only be the best fighters in the world, Marcel. If you're not good enough to be here, that's okay, because there's a million other promotions, but you shouldn't be in the UFC. All right, that's it for this podcast. We're just going to quickly get out of here, Marcel. We'll start a new podcast in a second here, guys. We're going to break down UFC Vegas 59. Marcel, just plug your stuff. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, it's Big Marcel 24 on Twitter and Instagram, and you can read my articles if you can read Dutch on Eurosport.nl mixed martial arts section.
Yeah, I'm Adam Martin on Twitter, podcast, amlodgeworker.com, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all those places. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Appreciate that. Bookies.com have my best bets. I went 1-2 this week. Not my best week, but it's okay. At least it wasn't horrible. And then MyManews.com for all the news and stuff. What was I going to say? We're also going to change the time of the podcast going forward, but it doesn't start for a couple more weeks. So I'll talk about that maybe like at the end of the next episode. But we'll start the next podcast, guys. Just stay tuned to the channel. My Twitter, I'm going to tweet out in a minute. We're going to be breaking out UFC Vegas 59. Peace.